When COVID-19 hit America's shores, there wasn't a single person whose daily life was left unaffected. For almost everybody, this meant quarantining at home for indefinite periods of time, with little to no physical contact with the outside world. Soon after being forced into isolation, scientists began a number of experiments to gauge just how much the Earth would react to being desolate of humans. One of the first countries to initiate a strict quarantine was China, as they were ground zero for the COVID-19 pandemic. Researchers from Stanford University have concluded that since the country was put into lockdown, there has been a 25% decrease in overall carbon emissions. As China is one of the most egregious polluters in the world, this meant an estimated 200 million tons of CO2 were emitted into the atmosphere in this time period. The same study concluded that this cutback on greenhouse gases may have saved the lives of roughly 4,000 young children and 73,000 elderly adults in the past 2 months. Although China was one of the first to notice such drastic changes, a number of other countries, particularly in the EU, felt a similar impact. Across Europe, satellites have picked up a substantial drop in nitrogen dioxide, a pollutant caused by gas-powered vehicles. America, being one of the last countries to go into an enforced quarantine, has also seen these changes to a slightly lesser degree, with skies clearing up over major cities and natural life returning to populated areas. This wouldn't be the first time such changes have happened though, as the 2008 recession had a similar impact on the country. Studies taken at that time found that with a 3% drop in the US's GDP, there was also an 8% drop in overall carbon emissions. Scientists were able to trace the vast majority of these reductions back to a substantial cutback in aviation, an industry which is among the biggest culprits in terms of production of human-induced greenhouse gases. These reductions, while helping the environment at the time, had little to no long-term impact, as soon as the recession came to an end, people went right back to flying, and the 8% reduction soon was completely mitigated. It's important now more than ever that people realize just how much you can do in your daily life to prevent the world from being polluted beyond repair. Things like turning the lights off when you leave a room and not letting the engine run in your car may seem trivial and unsubstantial, but minor actions like these over an extended period of time can massively reduce your carbon footprint. With the popularization of video conference resources like Zoom, it's now easier than ever to hold meetings around the world without the necessity of flying to a destination to meet in person. Although taking steps like these may lead to an interruption in the usual flow of your daily life, they are more than necessary if we want to have any hope of putting a dent in humanity's carbon emissions.